How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Monday, September 23rd, 2024, and it's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. Before I start speaking on this next topic, I want to thank all of you good folks that have continued to support my son's channel, Illuminated D, by going over and consuming the content. Taking the time out of your busy lives to just, go over there and just fellowship with us. That means a lot to my son and I. We both greatly appreciate it. YouTube family, we have gotten to a point where, we got to a point in society that we have become so petty. What I mean by that is I was reading someplace online and I saw where black folks want to cancel Janet Jackson because she made the comment about Kamala Harris not being black. And it's when I think about Janet Jackson, I immediately think about the Jackson 5, Michael, Tito, Jermaine. I immediately think about Good Times. This, the family is just very, very, I would say, foundational to all African Americans. Because the Jackson 5, you know what I'm saying? They started out in a smaller town, not too much different from your Faith Evans, your Tupacs, your Jodeci's. So this resonates with us as a people. So for us to want to cancel that sister because she is of the opinion that Kamala Harris is not black is just appalling to me. Here's the thing. We as a society are at the precipice, which could be the beginning of the end. For those of you that are religious and you have some type of religious following, most teachers would say that we are in the last days as it applies to the book of Revelations, King James Version. So, in those last days, according to the book, many things that were prophesied and written are coming to pass now. And we see it happening before our very eyes. But, as I've often told you all, family, I don't identify with a particular group. But I do believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there is a creator. Because it is no way that all this came to be just by osmosis, the Charles Darwin theory, whatever you want to call it. So something made us. And moreover, something made us, and the thing that made us, something made it. And I don't want to get off on that. But with it all being said, I do believe in a creator. So some would say that we are on the precipice of the last days. We are in a failing economy. We are looking at issues with Russia because of our involvement with Ukraine. And as I often told you all, family, The average everyday lay citizen has no idea how close that each and every day that we can be in a war. And the average citizen will not understand it until the sirens go off, the alerts flash across your cell phones, computer screens, or television screens. That's when the SHIT is going to get real for you. That's when the shit going to hit the fan. So we're in a bad place, and we getting caught up with, I believe this stuff is going on with Puff Daddy and all this, what have you. I believe that these things are distractions, and these things are meant to distract us from the reality of what's really going on. It's just what magicians use. It's called sleight of hand and misdirection. I get you looking here while I'm doing this over here, and you don't have no idea what's going on over there because you're busy looking right here. So many things that go on are sleight of hand, smoke and mirrors to confuse you. And the everyday average lay citizen is not informed. Yeah, you might go on your little cell phone and you might look at some YouTube, some TikTok, porn, what have you. What you may use your cell phone for a lot of things, but the right thing. Are you doing research? Are you looking into this stuff? Are you looking to see, it's a lot of craziness going on. And worst case scenario, if the SIHIT hit the fan, I at least be prepared. We're not doing any of that. We so caught up with this whole thing with Drake and Kendrick Lamar and all this nonsense. We so caught up with canceling Janet Jackson, canceling that sister because she don't agree with the people that's saying that this woman is black. Let me tell you something, family. You need to do your own research, because I am not saying that Donald Trump is the solution, but based on what I've heard, my experiences when that man was in office, how it is now, and listen, I'm a black or white kind of guy. Ain't no such thing as gray. Ain't no gray area. It either is or it isn't. But you black folk, it either is or it ain't. So I look at the numbers. I look at how I was doing in the economy during that time, because to be honest with you, I don't care about the abortion right. Listen, that has nothing to do with me, because at the end of the day, if the SHIT hit the fan and the economy continues to take a plummet, it ain't gonna matter about no abortion rights. It ain't gonna matter about somebody trying to control what you do with your body. All that is gonna be insignificant to the greater scheme of things. So I'm not saying that man Trump is the answer, but I will say, if I had to compare my pockets when he was in office compared to how it is now, while Kamala's in office with Joe Biden, because listen, the thing about it is that somebody's running the country. I know people say, the country on autopilot, the powers that be running the country behind the scenes, because we all know that the president is not running the country. So common sense would say that the vice president got to step up and run the country even while she's campaigning. You just got to step up. So that tells me that up on you all's watch, that my pockets, I've been feeling it. Now, no, thank the universe and the creator, I'm not feeling it like most, because from a financial standpoint, I'm straight. But I still can tell the difference, because I watch my expenditures, and just because I got it don't mean I'm gonna spend it on BS. So that's what I'm going about. All the rest of that stuff, it really doesn't concern me. Listen, all I'm concerned with is my pockets and creating generational wealth. That's all I'm concerned with. Everything else we can work out. We can work out. We can figure it out. But not only because of the circumstances of the state of the economy, the way that it is now, is that I will have to say I don't see myself supporting the vice president, the current vice president, Kamala Harris. I don't see myself doing that, because of the fact of the matter, up under your watch, you allowed all these people to come into our country. You are giving and let me tell you, if I have no problem with people who want to come to this country because they think they gonna realize the American dream. Because let me tell you right now, for some people, it's an American nightmare. Everybody in this country ain't prospering, and everybody in this country ain't gonna prosper. But the fact is, if them people from other countries want to flood into here because of a grandeur of an American dream, that's fine, but do it the right way. Get your paperwork in order, pay all your fees, become a taxpayer, and you are welcome to realize this quote-unquote American dream. But until then, nah. So not only is she allowing all these people to pour into the country, they are going around the United States of America to various cities, and they are causing havoc. Most of these people ain't come to this country because they want a better life. They came over here to raise hell and cause havoc, because that's what they was doing in their country, because most of them was in prison in their country. In prison for violent felonies. What we would call felonies or violent felony in this country, in the United States of America. These people was not vetted. And Kamala Harris said, welcome. All are welcome. And then now, to add insult to injury, you allow these people to pour into this country, but then y'all give them all types of stipends and little monies, where now they balling. EBT, U.S. currency, food stamps. But you will not give a veteran any of that support. And every year, us veterans just hope that y'all are going to continue to supply the budget for the Department of the Armies. Because here's the thing, I'm a veteran, and I serve my country, and I sustain injuries while on duty. And at the minimum, I should get my disability. And I should continue to get my disability until I leave this domain. But until then, Madam Vice President, I need your support, but you are not supporting the veterans, because we got veterans that are homeless, living in the woods. I know it, because as I told you all before, I am retired law enforcement. I did over 20 years, some of that time working in a prison and the rest on the street. And I've come in contact with many of veterans that needed help. I've come in contact with many of veterans, took them into custody up under a Baker Act because they were a threat to themselves or others. But what they needed, what that poor veteran needed, was support. Madam Vice President, they needed your support. But when these very same veterans go to try to get aid and assistance in the form of food stamps, EBT, what have you, they get told no. And if they do get something, it's $100, $200, a couple $100, which in today's economy, a loaf of bread, a pike of turkey lunch meat and cheese is about $30. So that little food stamp y'all give to the poor veterans ain't enough. In good conscience, you say that you love America. But how can you love America but not love your veterans? If you are a black woman, Madam Vice President, how could you, when you was the district attorney of San Francisco, how could you go after black mothers because their children allegedly were skipping school? Not they, you charging them with not providing I don't know what the charges. I would have to look it up. But basically, these women these sisters were getting charged because in one case there was a sister whose daughter had sickle cell anemia. And she had a legitimate reason from the schools, from the principal on down. They knew this woman's daughter had sickle cell. And they had a 504 plan in place, and this young lady was successful in her classes. But because Kamala said, oh, this girl ain't sitting in school, because what it all comes down to is money. Because when you got more children behind in school sitting in them seats, now there's money that them schools get. It all is budgeting. That's more federal monies that the state of California get. You see? So basically it's all about money. It ain't because she cared about them children. Because here's the thing. This woman is darn in her 60s and she don't have no children. And I don't want to hear that crap about she a stepmama. If she don't have something physically wrong with her body that prevented her from having a child, that tells me that she didn't want to have no children. And the women that have children know that there is something called a maternal bond that a mother has with her child. It is no way you can have that maternal bond with a stepchild, with a child that you didn't carry for 9 months, with a child that you didn't go through labor pains and hours of delivery. You have no connection. That's why I tell men, listen, I'm not saying you can't date a baby mama if she's squared away and she fit, feminine and submissive. But them kids gonna have to be at the house doing something successfully and being gainfully employed. Because it does a man no good to take care of someone else's seed, something that he didn't create. Not only he didn't create this child, he will have no fatherly bond to this child. So it does no good to be a stepfather. That's why they say it's best to be married and have your situation together before you start having children, because the mother and the father collectively create this child. This child has pieces of both of their DNA, so that's why there's a connection with that child. So this woman don't have any children. So this is why she thought it was funny that she locked up this poor woman whose child is already suffering from sickle cell anemia, but then the child had another medical emergency. I think the child is paralyzed on one side because the extra stress of her mom being arrested and going through the court system explaining My child her grades are on point. She's not having no problems, but she can't be in school because of this. She has doctors, so she had all the supporting evidence. But Kamala Harris didn't care. She still locked that poor woman up. And what about the brother that she locked up for all them years and had DNA evidence proving that he was innocent? It took a federal judge to make her release the evidence, which ultimately freed this brother. Now, yes, I'm sure that he sued the hell out of San Francisco. And maybe he got millions upon millions upon millions. But here's the thing. Money cannot buy back the years that you sat in prison unjustified. No amount of money can buy back your time. And this is why, as a man, I don't believe in spending a whole lot of money on a woman, because at the end of the day, if she ain't riding for you, it's just a waste of time. And nobody got their time. Nobody can buy their time back. See, it ain't about the money. It's about my time. So this woman not only betrayed other black women, and she's supposed to be black, but she had no problem jailing innocent black women, jailing an innocent black man, and then gave men that had minor marijuana charges, minor possession of marijuana charges, had them people sitting in prison beyond their release date so that she could make them go do, they can go do, when you see the guys on the side of the road doing work and what have you, when they, I don't know how it is in y'all state, but down here, the trustees, the prisoners that's good, don't cause no problems. They become trustees and they get extra privileges and things of that nature. So, she was keeping these innocent black men in so they could do that type of SHIT. How is that just? See, the scales of justice is supposed to, that's why it balances. Because I know the law may say this, but your conscience as a judge, as a law enforcement officer, as a detective has got to say, you know what? I know what the law say, but my conscience says this. See, that's how I did my job. Because there were people that should have went to jail that didn't, and there were people that went to jail and maybe I could have gave them a break. But you know what? Sometimes it takes a bad situation to get people in order to get their life together. Sometimes it takes people being arrested and jailed for them to say, man, you know what? At the end of the day, I was the one that was acting a fool. That these people didn't just show up at my house just because. I'm the one that calls on people to come here and do their job. So you know what? It's my fault. Some people have to take the ride. But at the end of the day, Madam Vice President, when asked about your policies and how you plan on getting this country back on its feet, because as I said in my last video, America is not as strong as she used to be. America is withering away. She's wasting away. She is dying. And we need somebody to give her the medication that she needs to get her back on her feet. Madam Vice President, are you the doctor that can accomplish that mission? Are you the person that can accomplish that mission? Are you telling us, after seeing your track record, your resume, are you that person? I don't think so. I don't think so. You see, I am not going to sit up and say because, she a sister, she black, she in a Divine Nine, she in a sorority, chucks and pearls and chucks and all this. See, when we support people like that, we're not supporting. See, it's all about, you remember the day when you was working and you worked so hard and you felt like you deserved that promotion, but they wind up promoting the other guy or the other girl. You know why that is? Because they didn't promote the best qualified candidate. It was all about a friends and family and buddy system. The same way that this woman got the nomination and didn't have to go through the system. See, that's friends and buddies. See, that's that crap that I didn't like when I worked. Because if you're gonna promote me based on my skills and my abilities. If I ain't good, hey, listen, if Buddy better than me, or if she better than me, then I don't deserve the promotion. That's fine. That's cool. But if I'm better than them, I need to get the promotion. I want to earn my promotion. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. So with that being said, Madam Vice President, when I listen to what your policies were on how you going to get America back on her feet, you really don't have much to say. You talk about capital gains. You know, you talking about Tyson capital gains on Tyson unrealized capital gains. Tyson unrealized capital gains. So that means that if my house is worth $700,000, and let's just say I have a good year and it appraises for $900,000, so I owe you, I don't know, I owe you 25% of that, even though I ain't sold a house, I still own it, I'm still living in it. You know, I don't know, maybe I'm misinterpreting it. I don't know. That's how it was explained to me. And then, this is the thing that really, really sets me off. You go on to say, when asked, what is your policy? Well, I was raised by a single black mama. Let me tell you something. We all was raised by a single black mama. I was. I got other siblings that was raised by single black mamas, but let me tell you something. See, there's a difference for my single black mama than your single black mama, because I guarantee you, your single black mama didn't have it as bad as my single black mama. And I know, based on the college that you went to, you had it pretty good, ma'am, in my opinion, because I know what college I went to, and I had to scuffle and scrape to get there. So my thing is, you say how your mom, she single black mother raised 2 daughters and she always worked hard. Well, guess what? I know how hard my poor mama worked. And I'm not going to say that my mama worked harder than your mama, but I'm pretty sure that my mother's life looked totally different from yours. And furthermore, I have traveled this world, and I have seen people skin tone was darker than mine. And most would say that they were black, but they were not. Some was from Greece, Egypt. So you stand all us up by each other? Does that mean we are African American? No, because they're not even from this country. Furthermore, just because somebody is, quote unquote, daddy was black, whatever, okay. But if you wasn't raised in our culture, you ain't gonna understand what it means to be black. See, just because you have the black skin, just because your daddy maybe was Jamaican black or whatever you identify with, that don't mean you understand what it means to be African American. See, I don't think you do, Madam Vice President, because if you did, you would know the real struggle. And all you sisters out there who not looking and doing the research and just blindly supporting this woman because of identity politics, instead of looking at what's going to affect your pockets, is no way in the world that this woman know what it feels like to be an African American woman. Because if she did, is no way in good conscience that she would have jailed them poor sisters out there in San Francisco when they was doing the best they can to raise their children. There's no way in the world that her conscience would have allowed her to do that. Like I say, you can do what you want. You can side with who you want, vote for who you want. But at the end of the day, there are going to be consequences. And at the end of the day, you can dismiss everything that's going on around you. You can say, oh, it's going to get better. But I'm telling you right now that if we don't make a wise decision, we are going to have problems. And you best be prepared for whatever comes your way. You better be prepared. Because at the end of the day, just because somebody share my skin tone, skin color, and just because, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe they were born in America, but if you wasn't raised in the African American way, you don't know what it feel like to maybe your mama was, you know, you was raised in the projects, you was raised in the hood, you grew up, you know, in a situation where you saw people, you know, getting high on crack. You saw dope boys. See, if you wasn't raised like that, see, we in this country, we call that, you know what I'm saying? They say, you know what I'm saying, you a good dude. You ain't like them dudes over there in the hood. You a different one because you not experiencing what they experiencing. That's putting them in the position why they need to be out there hustling. So, you know, you come from a good side of the town. So I can't, you know, if I'm raised in a good part of town, I can't identify with them brothers in the hood, even though we share the same skin color, what have you. I can't identify with the brothers in the hood when it come down to, per se, selling drugs. But when it comes to other things that affect me as a black man, I can identify with them. That's why I say, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, all African Americans know that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, that we all can identify with each other in some way, shape, form, or fashion. How can this woman identify with us? She cannot, because she was not raised in the hood. She was raised, and I'm not saying being raised in the hood is something to be proud of, because it's not. But the fact of the matter is that some of our parents, some of our mamas didn't have no other choice. So when I hear this woman say her policy is, well, let me first say, you know, my mom worked hard. She worked 2 jobs. We lived in a neighborhood where everybody cared about their grass. Let me tell you something. My mama 83 years old, and she still care about her grass. Still get out there water in the yard because she ain't got no irrigation system. So I'm not trying to hear that. That ain't no policy. That ain't no policy. All that is rhetoric. All that is feel-good words. But let me tell you something. Feel-good words are not going to help my pockets. YouTube family, I just want to come on here and just have a little conversation. Do your research. Most of you will, but, you know, I take that back. Some of you will, but most of you won't. And that's fine. But whatever you do, you better wake up and you better to look around you and see what's really going on. YouTube family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were today. Peace.